So Chad Johnson wants us to go get Von Miller. And obviously getting Von Miller here would completely cancel out any chance of us re-signing Trey. Although I think after Myles Garrett got $40 million, there's really no scenario we can reasonably say that Trey is going to get re-signed. I guess extended, because he still has 1 year left on his contract. No matter what, we could tell Trey, you got 1 year left on your contract, buddy. You're going to be coming back next year, and then you can just hit free agency the year after that. Or, low key, we could keep franchise tagging him. But franchise tagging defensive ends, that's going to cost a lot of money, especially now with the top 5 positions, including Myles Garrett, divided by 5. I don't even want to consider that. Beside the point, Von Miller is not the worst option. He obviously is older. You know, the Bills just released him. He had the injury when he got to Buffalo. We look at his, last little track record with the Bills. He did have 6 sacks last year. He played 12 games. He had 0 sacks the year before that. 8 sacks, 5 sacks. He's definitely not what he used to be back in the day, which obviously once, it is what it is. Injuries definitely did not help him. In 2020, he had that ankle injury, ends up leaving, going to the Rams, then going to the Bills for the last 3 seasons. So definitely not a guy who's played every single game the last, 5 years pretty much. Well, actually, no, 2021 was separated between 2 teams, so that's why. But he only played 15 games total, which is only 2021. We have 16 or 17 games back then. I feel like 2021 was 17. So he only missed 2 games then. 12 games, 13. Again, depending on the price tag, I wouldn't mind this. He's going to be 36 years old going into next season. We just can't overpay him. Technically, if we did go ahead and get him. Man, this situation is so raunchy right now. But as long as we don't overpay him, I don't really care too much. We got Von Miller. Who I really want is Hunter Landry. I would love to get him. I think he could be a really good option for us. The Titans actually just cut him. But even then, I don't know what the price tag would be. I mean, this $40 million, Myles Garrett contract. The reason why I'm so upset about it is because, first off, we should have signed all these guys a couple years ago, in all honesty. Like, this should have been we shouldn't even be worrying about Myles Garrett right now, because Trey should have been signed to a 6-year extension a little while ago, a couple years ago, or maybe about a year ago. We should have had Chase already done with a new deal last year before the season started. We should have already had T. Higgins contract done last offseason. Like, there's so many things that should have already been done that this right now should not even be a problem. But it is. It is a problem. And then obviously those situations where, we could have probably signed Trey for around 32, 33 million, potentially, a week ago. Before Max Crosby's contract, we probably could have gotten him for like 33 million. Now, again, there is conflicting reports on that. Some reports say that we offered him 30 to 32 million. He rejected it. Other reports are now saying, coming from James here, that we offered him only like 23 million. So these conflicting reports, as always, just blow my head off at this point. So we don't know how much we actually offered him because there's conflicting reports on both sides. But it looks like now at this moment in time, if we did get Trey for like around 30 million, it would actually be a logical deal. I couldn't co-sign off that, to be honest. I think that is still way too much money to pay an edge rusher, especially when it comes to you having to pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You just can't logically get to a $30 million price tag. That's ridiculous. Now it's looking like less ridiculous. I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, we got Trey for another year. We got 1 more year left with him. And I think that's really how this goes. I don't believe we're going to trade him, and I don't believe we're going to extend him. I'm officially saying right now, I think Trey will play one more year with us, and then he'll leave in free agency. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel right now. I'm sure he's not going to be happy with that. I'm not happy with it, to be honest. I wanted Trey for a couple years. I wanted to have him for the next like 4 or 5 seasons, you know, if we could have worked out a logical contract. But after this contract today with Myles Garrett, Mad Max Crosby just got paid. I don't see a scenario where we get a contract done. I just don't. And I always try to be, you know, optimistic, keep a level head with this. I can't. There's no logical way I can keep a level head and say that after that contract today and Mad Max Crosby's contract, that we're going to keep Trey for the foreseeable future. There's just no logical scenario. The only way is if Trey really wanted to do team-friendly deal. He wanted to stay in Cincy a crazy amount, like he claims he does, and he'll take less money, but I don't see it happening. And based on what we are seeing, it doesn't seem like it is going to happen. So it is what it is at the end of the day. That situation is just going to continue to be volatile, but we'll see. The only way here is if like Joe Burrow said a month ago, he'd restructure his contract, and we do what the Browns are doing with Deshaun Watson, which is they're giving him a signing bonus, prorating over 5 years at the end of his contract. And then what they do is they, because of that, they lower his cap hit and they give them more money this year. That's the only way we can do it, is if we restructure his contract and we kick the can down the road and we give us more money over the next couple years. And that's the only way. If it's not that, there's just no logical way to get this done. Not if you want to pay Trey, T, and Chase. If you want to pay Trey, and a logical scenario, you have to get rid of T. Higgins. You have to trade T. You have to take that $26 million cap hit for his franchise tag. And that's how you have to work with it. There's just no situation where you can keep them all. Not with 40 million reasons of Myles Garrett just getting paid. I don't know. I'm just mentally all over the place, but we'll see. We'll see how this ends up turning out. Hopefully positive. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.